Welcome to Hollywood Latest Reports. There are moments in the world of gospel music that leave audiences breathless. Moments when emotion, faith, and divine connection merge into something that transcends sound. Last Sunday night at Family Worship Center, one such moment unfolded when Tara Montpetit, beloved vocalist of Jimmy Swaggart Ministries, delivered what many are now calling the most emotional performance of her career. With tears streaming down her face, Tara's voice quivered with sincerity as she sang a hymn that seemed to come straight from the depths of her soul. The atmosphere in the room was electric yet reverent. Fans describe it as a spiritual outpouring, a performance that reminded everyone of the healing power of worship, a night to remember. It was a typical Sunday service at first. Pastor Jimmy Swaggart preached about faith through hardship, emphasizing how God's grace carries us through our darkest valleys. The choir took their places, the musicians tuned their instruments, and the sanctuary lights dimmed slightly. But as Tara stepped forward to the microphone, something felt different. Her usual bright smile was softer, tinged with emotion. When the first notes of "He's Been Faithful" filled the air, it was clear that this performance was going to be unlike any other. For those who have followed Tara's journey, they know she has always sung with deep conviction, but this night carried a new weight, a raw honesty, as if she were testifying rather than performing. The power of a personal testimony. Behind every great song lies a story, and behind every moving performance lies a heart that has lived through something profound. Tara Montpetit has always been open about her faith journey, her struggles, her triumphs, and the grace that has carried her through it all. In recent months, sources close to the ministry have quietly shared that Tara faced some personal challenges, moments that tested her strength and faith. While she hasn't spoken publicly about all the details, what's clear is that she poured every ounce of emotion into that song. As she sang the lyrics, "He's been faithful to me," her voice cracked, just slightly, but in that imperfection lay the beauty of truth. It wasn't just a song, it was a confession of gratitude and endurance. The audience felt it instantly. People began to weep, others raised their hands in worship, and some simply bowed their heads in silent reverence. The sanctuary became still, almost sacred. A connection beyond music. What makes Tara Montpetit's performances so uniquely powerful isn't just her vocal ability, it's the way she connects. Her voice doesn't just reach the ear, it reaches the heart. Every lyric she sings feels lived. Her tone carries warmth, her phrasing carries conviction, and her expressions reveal an understanding that music is ministry, not entertainment. This night, however, even seasoned members of the worship team were visibly moved. Fellow singer Joseph Larson later shared backstage, when Tara started singing, "You could feel the presence of the Lord fill the room. It wasn't rehearsed emotion, it was the real thing." She ministered straight from the heart. Fans echoed that sentiment across social media. "Tara's voice touched me tonight in a way I can't explain. You could feel what she was singing. I've watched her perform for years, but tonight was something divine. A life of faith and music." Born and raised in the Midwest, Tara Montpetit's musical roots run deep. From her early days singing in local church choirs to becoming a key vocalist on Sun Life Broadcasting Network, SBN, she has built a reputation for authenticity. Her journey wasn't always easy. Like many believers, Tara faced seasons of uncertainty, balancing motherhood, ministry, and personal challenges. But through it all, her unwavering faith and dedication to worship have never faltered. Her performances on Jimmy Swaggart's crusades, songs like "He's Been Faithful," "Through It All," and "It Is Well," have reached millions of viewers across the globe, offering hope and inspiration. And yet, despite her public recognition, Tara remains humble. She often says, "I'm just a vessel. If someone is touched by the song, then glory be to God." The emotional moment everyone is talking about. During this recent performance, there came a moment that will be remembered for years. Midway through the song, Tara paused, her eyes glistening with tears. She closed them for a brief second, lifted her hands and whispered, "Thank you, Lord." The band played softly behind her. The audience was silent. It was as if the entire room was holding its breath, allowing her to gather herself. Then, with renewed strength, she continued singing, this time stronger, freer, more powerful. That shift marked the turning point of the performance. It wasn't just about the melody anymore, it was about surrender. Even after the final note faded, the congregation remained quiet for a few moments before erupting into applause. Some stood, others wept openly. It was one of those sacred moments that lingered in the air long after the music stopped. The message behind the music. For Tara, Every song carries a message of faith. Her choice of hymns often reflects what she's personally experiencing. This particular performance, sources say, came during a time when she had been reflecting on God's faithfulness through personal storms. In a short backstage interview after the service, Tara shared softly, "Sometimes God allows us to go through things not to break us, but to remind us that He's still there. I wasn't just singing tonight, I was remembering everything He's brought me through." Those words resonated deeply with fans who have followed her for years. Many took to online forums and Facebook groups to share how Tara's vulnerability reminded them of their own walk with God. Social media reaction. Within hours, clips of Tara's emotional performance began circulating online. On TikTok, one user captioned the video, "When worship becomes personal, it's not just music, it's ministry. Tara Montpetit, you blessed us tonight." Twitter, now X, trended with the hashtag Tara Montpetit, and fans flooded the comments section. "You can tell she's been through something and come out stronger. That's what faith looks like. I was watching online, and I cried through the whole song. Thank you, Tara, for letting God use you." Even fellow gospel artists reached out in support, praising her for bringing back the raw emotion of worship that so often gets lost in performance. Inside the Family Worship Center. Those who have attended services at Family Worship Center know that moments like these define the ministry. The Swaggart family has always emphasized the heart of worship, the idea that singing should uplift souls, not entertain crowds. Tara has been part of that legacy for years, and she embodies that spirit with grace. Her connection with the Swaggart family runs deep, and her respect for the platform she's been given is evident in how she carries herself on and off stage. During this performance, Pastor Gabriel Swaggart reportedly became emotional himself, wiping tears as Tara's voice echoed through the sanctuary. He later commented, "When someone sings from a place of brokenness and faith, heaven listens." Tara ministered tonight, not just performed. Faith through the fire. Behind the smile, Tara has faced her share of trials. She's spoken before about moments of doubt, about praying through fear, and learning to trust God even when answers don't come quickly. Her transparency has made her a relatable figure in the Christian world, a woman of faith who's not afraid to admit that she's human. It's that authenticity that fans love most. She doesn't stand on stage to impress, she stands to testify. Her music becomes a bridge, connecting pain to peace, struggle to surrender, the impact beyond the stage. In the days following the performance, the clip reached over 1 million views across various platforms. Dozens of testimonies poured in from around the world. A woman battling cancer wrote that the song gave her renewed hope. A man who had lost his job said it reminded him that God hadn't forgotten him. A young mother struggling with depression said she felt peace for the first time in months. That's the power of a song sung from the heart. It heals, restores, and uplifts. Tara later shared on Instagram, "I never expected that performance to reach so many. But that's how God works. He takes our brokenness and turns it into blessing." A moment that redefines a career. After more than a decade in ministry, it's rare for an artist to deliver a moment that feels entirely new. Yet for Tara Montpetit, this performance wasn't just another chapter, it was a turning point. Fans and fellow musicians are calling it her career-defining moment, one that reminded the gospel community of what true worship looks like when it's stripped of ego and filled with spirit. Even longtime supporters of Jimmy Swaggart Ministries remarked that it was among the most powerful live moments ever broadcast on Sun Life Broadcasting Network. The legacy of worship. If there's one thing this performance reminded everyone of, it's that worship is more than music, it's a conversation with God. Tara Montpetit's tears weren't a sign of weakness. They were a reflection of surrender and gratitude. In those few minutes, she reminded the world that faith is not about perfection. It's about honesty before God. Her legacy, already strong, has now deepened. She stands as a living reminder that when you let God lead your voice, He can reach hearts in ways words never could. Looking ahead. As for what's next, Tara has hinted at new music in the works, songs inspired by her recent experiences, and the overwhelming response from fans. While she remains humble about her growing influence, one thing is clear, her ministry is evolving. She continues to serve faithfully alongside the Swaggart team, balancing her role as a worship leader, wife, and mother. But after this unforgettable night, it's evident that God has opened a new chapter in her journey. Conclusion, a voice of grace and truth. In a world where so much music feels polished and distant, Tara Montpetit's emotional performance was a breath of authenticity. It reminded everyone that the most powerful art often comes from pain, faith, and surrender. With tears in her eyes and worship in her heart, Tara didn't just sing, she ministered. She brought heaven a little closer to earth and gave her audience a glimpse of God's unfailing love. Her voice may have trembled, but her message stood firm. He's been faithful. And that truth, sung through tears, will echo in the hearts of everyone who heard it for years to come. Her moment on stage wasn't just about that single night. It represented something much deeper. It showed what it means to live a faith that moves generations. Many longtime viewers of Sun Life Broadcasting Network have watched Tara grow through the years, not just as a singer, but as a woman who walks out her faith with integrity and grace. Her journey has been filled with ups and downs, but her steadfast devotion has inspired both the young and the old. Parents have written to the ministry, saying their children now look up to Tara as a role model of what a true Christian artist should be: humble, sincere, and unwavering in faith. One mother wrote, "My 10-year-old daughter said, 'Mom, I want to sing like Tara when I grow up.' But what touched me more was when she added, 'I want to believe like her too.'" That's how powerful her testimony is. A family of faith. Tara's family has always been her foundation. Those close to her know she draws much of her emotional strength from her loved ones, her husband, children, and extended church family, who support her both privately and publicly. She once said in an interview, "Every time I step on that stage, I think about my family watching, and I pray that they see not me, but the God who's carried me." That heart of humility is what defines Tara. Even in moments of recognition, she redirects the praise upward. Following her emotional performance, her family reportedly stood at the back of the church, overcome with emotion. Her daughter was seen wiping her eyes as Tara sang, a moment that reflected the beauty of generational faith. A mother ministering through song while her child watched the power of worship unfold before her eyes. The